Ladies and gents, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Orbital Potato, and here we check out the latest and the greatest strategy games each and every day of the week. Today, we're having a little look at Mini Settlers, and specifically, the Prologue. This is a minimalist sort of colony sim style city builder, but it's kind of more a logistics game, kind of crossed with a transport game, kind of automation-y as well. This one's got a lot going on. Let's jump into things and see what we have in store. So, love the art style, very, very chill, very, very nice, nice looking. We start with one singular building. This is our headquarters. It stores and it also produces wood. So that is a nice sort of basic resource to have. Up in the top left-hand corner, we've got our population stats. And we've got our goal. Our first goal is 40 people, and we need to get 800 over the course of this map. Now, we have, in order to assist us on this mission, a couple of trusty buildings which we're going to be utilizing along the way. So we have got a stone quarry. We're going to get a stone quarry that costs us 3 planks in order to build, and in order to work, it's going to take an apple and turn it into 2 stones. We have got an apple farm, which costs a wood to build, what turns water into apples. We've got a lumber camp, which turns apples into wood, and then a sawmill, which turns wood into timber. We've got a water well, which I'm actually going to just, I'm just going to stop chatting. I'm just going to actually start building. I would quite like to build a water well up there. That's good. We're going to need to get that connected to the headquarters, and the way that we do that is with roads, and specifically a logistics network. Now, roads can only be so long, which is part of the, I guess, challenge of this game. There's these little robot things, I don't know, people? I have no idea, but there's these little cubes that carry, or little squares, since it's 2 dimensions, that carry resources between these different nodes, and the resources can be left in the middle, which is kind of interesting, kind of novel. Let's nab ourselves an apple farm. We'll get this right about there. Sure, that sounds good to me. And we'll also see if we can maybe set up a little bit of lumber production over here. Yeah, that sounds good. And in fact, I'll also get a sawmill, and we'll get that all sort of plumbed in here. That's just not long enough, unfortunately. So what we'll do is we'll bring it back. We'll go round like so. We'll set an anchor point, and then we will build out here. Now, we don't necessarily have to have all of the nodes on top of the on top of the buildings. That is not something that we necessarily have to do. And in fact, I can delete this and, for example, build a road all the way out here. However, if you build on top of a node, it does mean that both the trolley from this side and the trolley from above can reach this specific lumber yard, whereas now that cannot happen. But we really need to think about the journey that all of our resources are taking. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to have the lumber yards, in hindsight, down here, because the apple is taking a journey all the way across this way. In fact, it would be much quicker just to introduce a little bypass across there, which is going to allow the apple to get down to the lumber mill much, much faster, much more expediently. So that's what we're going to try and do. And sort of, little changes like that will hopefully make all of the difference is what we're going to be rolling out over the course of the game. Now, that's basically our industry. I do need to get myself a stone quarry. Let's see if we can get a stone quarry up here, shall we? Let's do that. Oh, I can already tell that I'm not going to like this. But we'll do that. We'll do that for now. Stone quarry requires 3 planks in order to build. So yeah, the journey that the plank is going to take is quite long, but that's fine. That's fine, at least for now. Anyway, that's gonna get to work, and then we can actually chat about probably the most important building, or some of the most important buildings in all of the game, the city center, and indeed the house. The city center is the basis for civilization, and we need to be really quite careful about where we place it for reasons which will become clear in just a second. I think we're going to start with there. Now, The way that the city center works is that there is an area of effect that you can build houses in. There we go. That should be fine, at least to supply the building resources, and then I'll maybe sort of think about redrawing the lines in a little bit. And we'll go into 2 times speed, because that's going to require 5 stone, and at the moment, I have got a couple of stone, but it's going to take a little while to filter through. Either way, not looking too bad, is it? It's all looking pretty decent to me. It's looking decent enough. The point is, there's this little area of effect that the city center projects, and in that area is the only area that we are able to build houses. However, we can build up to 10 houses in every city center area of effect. However, the area of effect will expand from this as soon as we build houses. We can also upgrade it. We can do that. We can talk about that maybe as we get it. But for now, this is fine. Right. 10 houses. 10 houses. 10 houses. Let's see if we can try and do that. Okay, so we're going to expand up there. Let's keep a route free over here. Keep that free over there. No nearby city center. However, as soon as the houses are built, there we go. We can start to see the city center is indeed expanding. So we can kind of be a little bit, I don't want to say cavalier about where we start building, but we can kind of be a bit sort of strategic about how we do things here. Let's go over there. I really want to make sure that we have multiple ways to bring resources into this city. I don't want to have everything coming down just one single passageway. That to me seems like a bit of a disaster waiting to happen. So we're going to try and spread things out a little bit as much as we possibly can. Now, each house every 50 seconds requires 1 water and 1 apple. Hence why it's really, really important that we have consistently good apple production, and also need to make sure that our apple production is in proximity to our water production so that apples can be supplied with water, and also so that all of the houses can be supplied with all of the goods that they need at all times. Good. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. That looks not too bad. Can I maybe nab another apple farm over here somewhere? That's not too bad, is it? Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Okay, we have to do that in 2 nodes, but to be honest, I'm quite content to deal with that. We've still got plenty of water. This is good. We do not actually have a warehouse unlocked yet. We need 40 population in order to do that, but we'll get there. Right, let's see if we can try and bash in the rest of these houses. I mean, it's gonna be a little ugly wherever I choose to put them, I think. We only need 1 more, so maybe just the 1 more over here. Yeah, it's not too bad. Again, trying to avoid having everything on one single trunk road. We want to have that spread up. I also ideally want to have a bit of water supply over here, so we're not feeding all of the water for these houses down through this central area here. In an ideal world, we actually probably disconnect this, right? I think so. In an ideal world, we get ourselves a little bit of additional water supply over here. We get ourselves an apple farm over here. And we connect that up like so. And that should, if my calculations are correct, and maybe if I delete this road right here, that might make things just a smidgen more efficient. Either way, our population milestone, our population target, we're getting close to that, so that's quite nice. That is quite nice indeed. Okay, there we go. Settlement goal reached. New buildings unlocked. Fantastic. What did we get? We got ourselves a small warehouse. Fancy that. Okay, so warehouses are pretty fantastic, and in fact, we can utilize them. I don't want to say everywhere, because we're not going to utilize them everywhere, but we're going to try and utilize them in as many places as we possibly can. I think, honestly, the supply of everything is looking good. Like, I'm happy with this. The small warehouse, ideally, we want to buffer water, I think. If we're able to buffer water, then that should mean that we can hold resources here, and we can distribute them to both the apple farm and also to the houses as and when they're required. The next question is, where do I want to put my next settlement? So I'm going to have to build another city center. I'm thinking that the other city center probably has to be up here somewhere. Maybe even on the beach. This could be a beachfront property. Sure, I like that little wiggle halfway through. And then after that's all up and running, we can ideally plan out a very similar setup. That's annoying that we're never going to be able to get 100% efficiency there, but that's fine. Can plan out another setup. That's probably bad practice. We should do this and then that. Is that better? That feels worse. That feels way worse. I just don't want them to be so close together that they just utilize one singular truck. I feel like that's a really, really bad idea. Yeah, let's maybe take another look at that. And build it slightly further away. Yeah, if we do that, then we can build a road between them, no issues, that's fine. And then we can also have a little road that goes up there and a little road that goes up there. That seems pretty good. That seems pretty good, doesn't it? I think that seems excellent. Right, we've got the water coming in here. That's looking nice. We are ready to build a bunch of houses. Now, what I think I want to do is I want to have a bunch of houses that are going to be on this sort of main input stake over here. 3, 4 maybe? That would be fine. And then I think we want to have... yeah, something like that. Ugh. It's going to be a bit messy, isn't it? Let's disconnect that there. That's too short. And that's too short too. Goodness gracious me. Okay. If we redo this in a way that doesn't completely suck, I think we can find a solution that's happy for everyone. Okay. Yep. First things first, let's get it out here. Get it right in there. That's nice. I know. Pause. We don't want any of the houses to get upset. Okay, that looks good. That looks good too. And then if I do that, then that also feels quite nice. And then all I need to do is slide in 2 additional houses over here, and what do you know? We got a pretty decent thing going by the looks of things. And we can also get another house here now because I've straightened everything up, which is great. And also the supply is looking quite good, I think. Everything does need to pass through this joint, which is maybe a little bit of a weak point for us. Can maybe rework this ever so slightly to do... yeah, because if we do something like this and then something like this... oh, I hate it, but it does kind of work. You see what I mean? Is that we can actually inject... we can inject the resources into this side via that side. Also, why are we not building? Oh, I see, because you're not connected. Whoops. Missed a trick on that one. There we go. Anyway, get that quarry up and running, please. That's highly, highly, highly important for building houses, as it turns out. Okay, So you can kind of see what I'm going for here. It's a little bit janky, but we basically split the inputs across these 4 houses and the inputs across these 4 houses, which is quite nice. And we actually probably should have just added a 5th house somewhere, like a 5th house up there, 5th house up there. And that'll be good enough. That'll be good enough. That's the 10 for this city center, which is actually quite nice. And we're heading towards our population milestone of 60, which we can do fairly easily, I think. I mean, what, like another couple of houses and we're pretty much golden? Yeah. Also, we can always squeeze in a warehouse over here if indeed we need to or we want to. What do you need? Water and food. I mean, everything is happening here at a really, really decent pace. It's all working. It's all coming together. Yeah. Okay, great. New buildings have been unlocked. Fantastic. What have we got? We got a forester. Forester, stone, and saw blades to sawn timber to construct. 1 water turns into forest. Population milestone is 80. We are well on our way to 80, to be honest. Like, as people are continuing to have their needs fulfilled, the population of each and every house is moving up. Do I really feel the need to build a forester? I will build a forester, just because I probably should have one in the proximity next to a lumber camp. This is our only lumber camp, and therefore it's probably the only forester that I need to have. Okay, if you meet the upgrade requirements, you can upgrade city centers to support more houses. Fantastic, let's do that. You are ready to rock and roll. I say we can do it. We actually need to get a whole bunch of resources in order to do it. But, you know, the thought is there. Anyway, let's go through the resources sequentially and see what we need to do in order to get them. So we need, what is this? Spanners, tool makers. Tool makers require iron bars to build, or iron smelters require iron and coal. Okay, so we need to get our resource extraction sorted first. We need to get ourselves an iron quarry. It looks like there's a decent amount down at the south here. Need empty space, that's fine. And coal. Beautiful. Let's have a look. So we could connect up to this existing... area. I think we'll probably do that. What we'll probably do is we'll build ourselves an iron smelter like over here somewhere so that we don't have to transport a whole bunch of unrefined resource. We just need to transport the sort of finished product, if you like. Okay, we'll connect up to there for now. I don't love that. It doesn't feel very high capacity. We're also going to have to pass all of the resources backwards, which is fine. What do we need for the... What do we need for the toolmaker? The toolmaker requires iron bars and sawn timber in order to operate. Okay, I have an idea about where we place this. I think we place this right about here. I'll tell you why. Because I want to build a little bypass so that we can continue the water coming up this way and around as per. And then we'll have a little bypass for the tools and the iron. How cool is that? So for water, the quickest route to get to the water storage and the apple farm, still up here, along, up, etc. But for tools, they're going to get their resources, obviously, from down here and from up here. And basically, won't interfere with the water supply at all. So that really should work quite well. Okay, so that's one of the resources that we need. Iron bars actually naturally have sort of sorted themselves. We've got a stone blocker, which requires stone as an input, and also a tool. Stone is a resource that is quite far away. However, also nothing stopping us from sort of rearranging a little bypass route over here. You know what? I kind of like this idea. I kind of like this idea. Let's take this out. Let's take this out. Yep. You might be a little bit unhappy with me for a little while, video game, but don't worry, we'll sort that. Okay. And then this is going to be the industrial bypass. That's right, the absolute industrial bypass. So this whole line is just purely, ideally, going to be occupied by mostly industrial products. That's the dream. Right. Why are you not operating? You need bread! Oh my goodness, I've overlooked a very, very basic, core, important component of iron production. Of course, because everybody knows that iron mines don't, or iron quarries don't actually work without a bakery. Now, what the heck does a bakery utilize? Bakery utilizes water, turns it into wheat, turns wheat and coal into bread, and then bread into iron. Okay, can I squeeze in another water supply vessel over there? I absolutely can. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to have a bakery area bespoke over here. Wheat farm, beautiful. A juice maker. Do I need a juice maker? I probably need juice makers for like house level 2s, but that's fine. Okay, so bakery's going to go over here. We're going to need to supply a little bit of additional coal, but frankly, I'm going to assume that that's not going to be a big deal. 1 coal, 2 iron. Yeah, iron is going to be a much more sort of in-demand resource. So that's fine. Either way, we're going to start making wheat. And honestly, you know, I'm looking at this, and it's like the time that it takes for all of the resources to get from this side of the map to right over here, it's no time at all. I'm very, very content with this. This is completely fine. Okay, finally, at long last, we have hopefully got iron production. We'll get coal. We'll get breads. The bread will start producing, and none of the bread needs to leave over here. At least this bread doesn't. If we need bread for, you know, upgraded houses or whatever, we can get additional bread. We can get additional bread production. Or we can look elsewhere, we can link this up, or we can do something. But for now, let's just get iron production up and running. This tool maker needs to get built, and I need to get the city center upgraded. That's very, very important. I need to get that stone blocker built, don't I? Yes, I do. Still haven't built the stone blocker. Where is the stone blocker? It's over here. Need empty spaces. Let's put it right there. Yep, that's good. Okay, tools coming in. Brilliant. Do we have enough sawmill capacity at the moment? I think we do, you know. I think we do. But it requires everything to sort of work in perfect harmony. And to be fair to me and to be fair to everything else here, it looks like everything is working. There's a little bit of sort of construction hiccuping. But I'm pretty content with that. Already maxed out on iron, already maxed out on tools that we're storing. That's really good. Okay, let's queue this for upgrades, and let's start the process of getting all of these resources delivered, shall we? Yeah, and again, the tools are going to come down from here to here, which is great. The quarried rock is going to make a very, very long and arduous journey all the way down here, but to be fair, it should be okay. There's a couple of nodes that are, you know, there's a few resources that are stacking up on them, but it's only temporary. And look at that, you know, water is stacking up in a few inconvenient places, but this is, again, you know, this is a temporary sort of situation. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Pretty content with everything. That's all looking pretty darn good. Okay, upgrading to houses. Yep, we're going to upgrade to level 2 houses, but we're going to need a few more additional resources before we do that. I could also think about getting a city center. What else haven't I built, by the way? A paper maker. Turns wooden tools into paper. Okay, we may need that in a tickle. But we might not. Also the juice maker. Yeah, I haven't built the juice maker. The house is upset with me, presumably because there's no water being delivered. Presumably because all of the transporters are busy transporting all of the useful resources into upgrading the city center. That's fine, though. We've solved it. We're back on the straight and narrow. Also, are we okay for apples? I'm looking at our apple supply. Seems to be fine. This area seems to be okay, too. I mean, look, we're not dropping below 80 population. So no matter all of these little, you know, question marks that we're seeing, all I'm seeing is success. That's what matters. Right, city center's upgraded. First of all, we can increase the number of houses. That's pretty great. Let's see if we can try and upgrade a couple of these houses. I really want to see what the different needs are. So that will help us assess what we need to build and where we need to build it. We've got all of the resources. We've got all of the resources in abundance, really. Yeah, we're completely fine with that. If we do need bread, there is a way that I can sort of connect up a route around here. Like, that's maybe not the craziest idea in the world to do. So you need bread, juice, and you need paper. Man, it was all going so well, wasn't it? It was all going so darned well. Well, the good news is we can get a paper maker. The paper maker is pretty easy to build, and we can sort of keep it in this sort of industrial corridor, as I'm now referring to it as. The bread situation can be rectified by doing pretty much exactly what I suggested and having a more direct sort of bread route. I don't really want to connect that up at all. Yeah, because at the moment it's going to take a long, long time for that bread to get all the way around. I don't think we have any choice, though. I think we're going to have to redo. I think we're going to have to redo that. Upgrade that. Upgrade that. Upgrade that. Upgrade that. The juice maker. Let's get the juice maker wherever the heck it is. Can we squeeze the juice maker in here? I mean, what the heck do we need to make juice? It's just apple. It's wood? We need wood? Oh, goodness gracious me. Okay. Right. Throw that in there. Yeah, I know you're going to be upset with me. That is going to reduce the efficiency. But I want to do this. I want to have a specific lumber supply chain for the juice maker. I suppose it's for barreling purposes. But that seems like a good idea to me. Right, get that upgraded, get that upgraded, get that upgraded, and that upgraded. Everything else upgraded should be good. And yeah, we'll be on to juice in just a second. We're increasing our population. It's a little slow, it's a little steady. Obviously, we don't have the juice coming in yet. And we may need to address the amount of the balance of things. But all things considered, I'm reasonably happy with how this is all looking. Bread supply to the iron quarry. Gosh darn, that is a surprising one. Not heard of that one before. Okay, all of the houses are now upgraded. The construction the construction traffic is no longer required, which is good. This little supply chain is working quite well. I will need to get a forester, unfortunately. That is unfortunately required. But we've got plenty of water over here. And in fact, we can even create a lovely little water bypass, an industrial bypass over there, which is great. Okay, population has dropped down to 66, but now I think that we've really got the opportunity to improve that tremendously. We also no longer need to have water over here. Paper is looking good. What do I need? Everything, really. Everything. But a lot of it, I feel, just needs to sort of filter through. I mean, 86, that's creeping upwards, he says, as it drops to 82. It's a heck of a lot of resources to supply to a house in, you know, in any given time, to be fair. Let's also change that. Let's maybe make this into paper. Make this into a paper supply area. Sure. I'm reasonably confident that this can always be fulfilled. I'm reasonably confident that this can always be fulfilled. Maybe it's just bread that I'm worried about. But to be honest, even then, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, we're moving up. We can hold up to 20 people in any of these houses. That is great. What is that? 20 times 10? That's 200. That's 200. So yeah, I mean, we have a maximum of 200 people literally from these 10 houses. Holy cow, I didn't even consider that. That's a huge increase. That is an absolutely monstrous increase from the 4 people per house over here. That is absolutely gargantuan. So yeah, getting supplies sorted over here is really very, very important. But again, it's like we're not far off being able to do it. A little bit of a bread issue, a little bit of a paper issue. Let's get a bread supply chain over here. Yeah, I actually think we might need more paper, you know? I think that might be the limiting factor here. Yeah, I think given that we're not seeing any paper filling up in the supply depot, and we're constantly seeing juice just waiting here, I think that's pretty much guaranteed what we need. It's paper, isn't it? It's paper. It could be other stuff too. But I mean, look, if we're you know, stocking up on bread, it really can only be one thing. Paper. It's not wood, that's fine. Yeah. I think we're pretty much fine for everything with the exception of paper. If we sort out the paper situation, we're going to be golden. I mean, we're already up to 158. If we could hit 200, I would be a very, very happy individual. Plenty of bread. I honestly thought bread would be the thing that broke me. And look at that. We're starting to see paper. Starting to see paper just waiting there. Honestly, everybody's happy. And if they're not happy, we can supply them with all of the resources that they need in order to be happy very, very quickly and very, very efficiently. Look at that. You love to see it. Settlement goal has been reached. New buildings have been unlocked. Fantastic. What did we get? We got ourselves a mid-warehouse, which is an average warehouse in quality and indeed quantity, I assume, and a charcoal maker, which will make charcoal from an apple and also 2 bits of wood, which I presume is the same as coal. I presume that means that you can just kind of make, you know, you can make coal on the fly if you need it, you know, sort of somewhere remote. Then, you know, that would be what you do. I guess the next sort of stage for us is to upgrade the city center over here. I mean, I can do that. I don't think that we're going to be able to finish up with that sort of process because we are coming towards the end of the episode. But yeah, I mean, this is Mini Settlers Prologue. You can check it out on Steam right now. It is available for free. It is obviously the prologue to the main Mini Settlers game, the big Mini Settlers game. It sounds weird to say, but the full Mini Settlers game. There we go. The full Mini Settlers game, whenever that is going to come out. I'm really excited for this one. It looks great. It feels great. I mean, what a gorgeous game to look at. And a really sort of interesting, novel way of playing around with city building mechanics and transportation logistics. I dig it. I'd encourage you to check it out, especially when it is free. Anyway, ladies and gents, going to wrap this one up. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.